Divrei-hayamim bet, 2 Chronicles chapter 33. Manasseh was 12 years old when he began his reign, and he ruled for 55 years in Jerusalem. He did what was evil from Adonai's perspective, following the disgusting practices of the nations whom Adonai had expelled ahead of the people of Israel. For he rebuilt the high places which Hezekiah his father had smashed. He erected altars for the Baalim, made sacred poles, and worshipped all the army of heaven and served them. He erected altars in the house of Adonai, concerning which Adonai had said, "My name will be in Jerusalem forever." He erected altars for all the army of heaven in the 2 courtyards of the house of Adonai. He made his children pass through the fire as a sacrifice in the Ben Hinnom valley. He practiced soothsaying, divination, and sorcery, and he appointed mediums and persons who used spirit guides. He did much that was evil from Adonai's perspective, thus provoking him to anger. He set the carved image of the idol he had made in the house of God, concerning which God had told David and Shlomo his son, "In this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, I will put my name forever. Also, I will not remove the feet of Israel from the land I assigned your ancestors, if only they will take heed to obey every order I have given them, that is, all the Torah, laws, and rulings that come through Moshe." Manasseh caused Yehudah and the people of Jerusalem to go astray, so that they did even worse things than the nations whom Adonai destroyed ahead of the people of Israel. Adonai spoke to Manasseh and his people, but they paid no attention. Therefore Adonai brought against them the commanders of the king of Asher's army. They took Manasseh captive with hooks, bound him in chains, and carried him off to Babel. Then, when he was in distress, he began to appease the anger of Adonai. Abjectly humbling himself before the God of his ancestors, he prayed to him, and God was moved by his plea, paid attention to his entreaty, and brought him back to Jerusalem, to his kingly office. Then Manasseh understood that Adonai really is God. After this, he built an outer wall for the city of David on the west side of Gihon in the valley, extending as far as the entrance at the fish gate. It encompassed the Ophel, and he built it very high. He stationed army commanders in all the fortified cities of Yehudah. He removed the foreign gods and the idol from the house of Adonai, and all the altars he had built on the hill of the house of Adonai and in Jerusalem, and threw them out of the city. He repaired the altar of Adonai, and offered on it sacrifices as peace offerings and for thanksgiving. And he ordered Yehudah to serve Adonai, the God of Israel. However, the people continued sacrificing on the high places, although only to Adonai their God. Other activities of Manasseh, his prayer to his God, and the words of the seers who spoke to him in the name of Adonai, the God of Israel, are recorded in the annals of the kings of Israel. Also his prayer and how God was moved by his plea, all his sin and disloyalty, and the locations where he built high places, and set up the sacred poles and carved images before he humbled himself, are written in the history of the seers. Then Manasseh slept with his ancestors, and was buried at his own house, and Amon his son took his place as king. Amon was 22 years old when he began his reign, and he ruled for 2 years in Jerusalem. He did what was evil from Adonai's perspective, as had Manasseh his father. Amon sacrificed to all the carved images that Manasseh his father had made, and served them. He did not humble himself before Adonai as Manasseh his father had done. Rather, this Amon kept adding to his guilt. His servants conspired against him, and put the king to death in his own palace. But the people of the land put to death all those who had been part of the conspiracy against King Amon. Then the people of the land made Yeshayahu his son king in place of him.